Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I just waited to do that. Welcome to our research breakfast today. It's a whole bunch of people who accepted our invitation, and this is our colleague from BBMRI, from Masaryk Memorial Cancer Institute, our guy who is beyond our new biobank facility that hopefully will come into being 2 years, in 2 years perhaps, hopefully, and the head of the biology department and many, many other roles impersonated in him. So today it will be about biobanking, precision medicine, cancer research, and many, many other stuff. So I hope that 1 hour will be sufficient to cover all your questions that you sent to us and to anything that will come to our minds during the session. So perhaps would you be so nice to introduce yourself shortly? What was your path that led you from the pre-graduate studies to this particular chair? Ondřej, could you start? Because the research breakfasts are usually about a story behind a researcher. So although we have a kind of topic, could you introduce yourself?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with you, and I'm very happy about, Okay. Okay. So hello again. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I'm really happy about the auditorium, the number of the people attending today. It's a lot of friends here. It's nice. To make long story short, okay. So I graduated at Masaryk University at Faculty of Science, then at Masaryk Memorial Cancer Institute with the PhD degree, and then a lot of stuff happened. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, maybe fortunately, but during the PhD studies, which was in 2006 or 2005. It was the situation regarding the financing of the research was kind of strange in Czech Republic in that times, and improved a lot in time. But in that times, it was actually possible that me as a PhD student was successful with the 3 grant applications at the grant agency, the procedure of the AZV grant agency, which is called Internal Grant Agency of the Ministry of Health. So as a PhD student, I received 3 full grant projects, which actually disabled me from traveling, and from the regular postdoc, because now I was responsible for 30 million crowns on these 3 grant projects. I actually had to open a new positions and manage these grant projects. So now it's obviously not possible, anything like that, because it's completely strange if you consider it retrospectively for a PhD student to be successful, not with the junior program, because there were no junior programs at the times, but just to succeed in this. And then, so I traveled later on as a more senior scientist at Rockefeller University for some time. I was in La Jolla in Hawaii. And then I opened a research group at CETEC, and the next step was head of Department of Biology. And now I collaborate with Creatic. We have a really deep and nice collaboration. And there is a lot of aspects which could be mentioned during my career path, but I don't think it's that important. So it was just a very short version.
Yeah. Thank you. So,
Jiří, okay, yes.
Could you go on just to...
My history very similar with the Ondřej history, because I'm Ondřej's first PhD student.
Nice.
And I
still friends.
I was, and I will be his student always. But maybe, but maybe I can talk about how we met first. Like when I finished my pregraduate study, so I had the Ondra try fund some PhD students for new position, for new grants. And so I called him or texted him, I don't remember, and he answered, we met, he asked me something about my skills and what I expect from this position. I answered, and at the end of our interview, I said to him that I didn't speak much English, but I want money from him. And I think that I wanted approximately 9,000 crowns, and he answered me that he can give me only 8,000 crowns. So I said okay, and we start with our collaboration. And you can see my progress, because my English my English is still lousy, but my paycheck is much more higher.
It's not absolutely accurate, the story as he described it, because he wanted 10. I offered 8, but finally he got 10 because he actually insisted on having 10, and this was the only thing he was actually interested in. He was not. He didn't ask about what is the scientific program, what I will do, or research. He just wanted 10,000 Czech crowns. So.
Okay, guys, you just ruined my concept of speaking about what is the driver behind science and motivation and all the bright ideas, and you took it back to the bone. Yeah, money. Okay.
Then I start on work on the one of 3 grants of Ondřej, and I focus on the glioblastoma research. And still, this is the main topic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Kateřina. What's your story?
So my story is a little bit different because I started my study at Faculty of Science. This is the same, but I studied ecotoxicology, and then I switched in PhD study in environmental chemistry. So my branch is quite different. But nowadays I'm working for Masaryk Memorial Cancer Institute, and I switch my focus on biobanking, communication, and also the science communication, so I can use these both words together to make it more popular, to make it more, or to motivate people, and also to accelerate the research. And I do not have such funny story, but I have really great time during my studies, and I work at Recetox as junior researcher, and then I switched it with my maternity leave to have 2 nice kids, and then I returned back to science a little bit, and then also the job shifting was a little bit needed, and the experience should be improved, so that's the reason why I shift. And I will be glad to answer here some biobanking questions. I am not the expert on cancer research. I would like to say it here for you, because these both gentlemen will answer these questions.
Yeah, but you are a communicator of science, so you will help us to go through the
definitely. I can make it
morning, and because it's
clear.
Morning, and you know, words are not coming easier today. Well, so you just mentioned it that both guys work in the cancer biology research, and the topic of this breakfast is something related to that, precision medicine and biobanking. So precision medicine started to be a buzzword that means many things and almost nothing. But perhaps you think it differently. So could you comment on what do you think precision medicine is and how it could change the field of medicine?
Okay, I think that actually there is only one content of this term, and all others are wrong.
So help us.
It's not mine definition. It's it's closely linked and related to the term personalized medicine or individualized medicine, which is obviously nothing new in a medicine. It's old as the medicine itself, actually, that the physicians adjust the therapies accordingly to the clinical status of the patient. So in terms of the cancer treatment, for instance, the dosage of the chemotherapy is adjusted to the weight, yes, or the surface of the body. So it's something very common. The intensity of the therapy is adjusted to the clinical performance status of the patient. What is actually new in the personalization of the medicine is implementation of the biological features of the disease, individual biological features of the disease, which is the novel aspect of the personalized medicine. And if we consider this molecular biological features of the disease, in our case the cancer, and use it for the personalized treatment, then we do a precision medicine. This is actually what it means. And this is the way how it should be also used. But you are absolutely right that people use it in various contexts, but this is the right one.
So I mean, it's using the biological processes that are specific to a certain patient who presents with a general diagnosis of, for example, glioblastoma or something like that.
Yes, whatever diagnosis it is. In cancer, it's actually easiest to imagine because you have a piece of tumor, piece of tissue, and you characterize the genome of the cancer, transcriptome, proteome, whatever, mostly, and what is used in a clinical routine is the DNA level. So you describe the cancer genomics, the genomic information of the individual tumor, and you use it for the formulation of therapeutic strategy. The term what is important is a therapeutic strategy in the current cancer treatment, that you do not deal with as one specific drug, but what you are aiming is to formulate individualized therapeutic strategy based on the genomic information of the individual tumor. And in other diseases, like the rare, ultra-rare diseases, which are not cancers, the main aim is to diagnose the disease because you have 8,000 rare diseases. Most of them are ultra-rare, so only a few patients in the world suffering with the disease. And the point here is to diagnose at first and then to use the biological information to explain and to understand the individual phenotypic feature of the disease in a certain patient, and then use it again for formulation of the individualized strategic approaches, follow-ups, etc.
So this is a concept, yes? So you know the biology that's behind the, let's say, individual presentation of a patient. But how far are we in implementing the concept? So is it just a theory, or did it already move to the clinical practice? Is it a general concept for every field of medicine, or is it just a few questions that come to my mind? And,
okay, should I
can comment?
Okay, so so regarding the precision medicine, since one of my positions is head of the Precision Medicine Center at the University Hospital Brno, so I will try to explain it. Okay, in oncology, we are definitely the extent of the application of precision medicine is the highest in oncology. Historically, actually, all the innovations in the medicine usually in terms of the implementation of new technologies, new therapeutic strategies, everything started in oncology because always there were significant and huge efforts, scientific efforts behind the cancer. and the army of the scientists all around the world, like, you know, 100,000s doing their research every day and implementing new technologies, coming with new discoveries, generating a lot of big data behind the cancer. So in oncology, it's actually daily routine now. It's not something experimental, or it's not about the future, but it's about it's the current routine practice. And it works in a way that we actually, at the Department of Pathology, we receive a piece of tissue, we do so-called panel sequencing, so we sequence 500 genes, some RNAs for fusions, and we provide to the multidisciplinary board the report with the molecular findings and recommendations for the treatments based on the findings we got. And this is actually used for the treatments then. To talk in numbers, we currently have 600 adult patients. Out of them, 20% have been finally treated based on the molecular recommendations. So every fifth patient here at the University Hospital Brno is treated based on the application of precision oncology concept into the clinical routine. The diagnostics itself has a reimbursement code, so it's part of the reimbursement system in Czech Republic, and it's fully covered. The problem is with the therapies, because therapies, obviously, when we found something, it's usually out of the regular scope for the drug, so it's not indicated in a certain disease and do not have a reimbursement coverage. So therefore, the physicians have to ask for a special approval for these treatments. Currently, they are successful with these approvals in approximately 70%, which increased in years, as I remember, from 15%, now we are at 70%, which is great. So, so and we have a great results there. And in kids, we started already 10 years ago, and in precision oncology. And the situation there is slightly different, because there was no reimbursement for the diagnostics, but all the drugs are available for the patients, actually, in almost all cases. And we do much more comprehensive testing there, analysis of the genome various levels, genome, transcriptome, methylome, whatever. What you can imagine as a different biological levels of the disease, we do all of them. And then we prepare a very comprehensive protocol describing the biology of the tumor. And we have a lot of patients coming from the whole Central Eastern European region because Professor Szczerba and this molecular tumor board and Department of Pediatric Oncology were among the first in this region providing this service. And obviously for free, because all the tests are are as part of the experimental project, so everything is covered from the grants or charities. And we have a lot of patients coming from Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Poland, so the whole Central Eastern European region. And again, here it's a part of the routine.
That's amazing. It's really impressive results. And just I will definitely ask other questions to involve the other members, but the last question is, you said 20% of the 600 patients are treated based on precision medicine. Why is it 20% and not 100%? What's the difference?
Okay, the situation is that we actually find a druggable information in the genome in approximately 60 to 65%, which is and the limitation here is based on the availability of the drug, actually, not for all targets. We already have developed innovative and targeted treatments. So this number will obviously will be increasing in time together with the newly approved targeted drugs. But this is current limits, and this is the number 65% is at the top of the European real-world data published in this regard. So it's the common number. And 20% is therefore, is because most of the patients are still on active treatments. So and we are now ready to provide them the new treatment after the progression of this current treatment. So it's not that physicians were not successful in obtaining the treatments for them, but it's that they are still on an active therapy in most cases.
Yeah. Thank you for the explanation. And to be able to achieve this, you need a kind of infrastructure that serves to the molecular tumor boards, etc., and to get to the state of the art, as you described, you need a lot of research that's happening before that. And I definitely agree with you that oncology is the leading field of, that pushes the medicine forward. And what is the infrastructure? So I think that you need to have a lot of samples from the patients to characterize them and to find the biology. And this is the biobanking that's here for it. Yeah. So I remember. When everyone's got his own freezer and there got a few samples, and this is the old way. So the new way is something called biobanking and BBMRI, etc. Yeah. This is a very, very, very stupid bridge to get there. But I
don't want to say that, but...
Yeah. So, could you explain to us what's biobanking and why is it good for us as researchers to get to the state of the art as Ondřej just described?
So I will be shorter. And simply the biobanking is to storage the biological samples in the freezer condition. And it's very important for the researchers because for the preclinical research or for the translation medicine, it's very important to work with the patient samples. And we need storage and preserve these samples. Of course, someone uses freezer center, but it's much more better to use biobanking. The Faculty of Medicine now is building new preclinical center. And this preclinical center is a part of the Pharma Hub. The other parts are, for example, Faculty of Pharmacy and also Center of Molecular Medicine. And one unit of the preclinical center is unique for the biobanking. So we plan, or the expected capacity of this unit is maybe 80,000 tissue samples and more than 170,000 of liquid biopsy or DNA, RNA samples. So this is new planet unit in the preclinical center.
And so what does it mean, biobanking? What are the rules? Is it just I get the samples and I send them and you catalog them and so then I need them, you just put them out of the refrigerator and send them to me, or is it a much more complex concept?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, it is much complex. I only add to Docent Šána that it's under monitored conditions because it's really important that you get the samples which are not melted. So they have quite unique quality, and this is really important that you have research done on really the best quality of samples if you can. And in your own freezer, not all institutions cover it with some backups and so on. So that's the reason, and also you need to follow some procedures how to get the samples, because you need to do it really fast, because this pre-analytical phase is really important into the quality. And if you don't follow the rules, such as, I don't know, to get in liquid nitrogen or to freeze the samples in 30 minutes or in 1 hour, then you can get some effects in your samples and they can influence your results. So this is the reason why biobank are experts on this. And that's the reason why the research infrastructure was organized and formed by a Czech government. And also, it's not easy to get the samples from hospitals because you need to have a lot of collaboration, relationships, and so on. And these research infrastructures should make this way easier than to make it by your own way, because there is a lot of researchers or institutions without any hospital relationships or collaboration. So that's the reason why these infrastructures can help the researcher to get the samples easier. So it is much complex, but the aim of these BBMRI biobanks is to make it easier.
So it is a controlled process of the collection of the samples and pre-processing before it gets to the storage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what needs to be done during the pre-storage phase? What does it mean?
It doesn't mean that if some patients get on some operation, mm-hmm. then you need to biopsize the tissue or to take out some blood samples, and there is time. How long it takes to make it in to get it in a freezer, mm-hmm. and this like waitings, because if you don't have some procedure, mm-hmm. that these samples can wait more than 1 hour or 2 hours, 3 hours, half a day, and then you measure quite sensitive analysis or you make some expensive analysis on this type of samples, and you don't know if it's caused by these pre-analytical mm-hmm. steps or it's caused because you have some effects or changes. And then how you can distinguish between them.
So you need to have a standard operational
yes.
procedure, and
mm-hmm.
that assures that every sample was collected under the same,
yes, exactly.
same conditions. And do you need some pre-storage characterization of the sample? For example, when you take the tissue biopsy, that you do histopathology before that to
yes, exactly.
to be sure that yes,
exactly.
so you need to have also the
validation mm-hmm.
validation of the sample before that. So you need some collaboration within the hospital. Yeah, so you don't do that within the biobanking facility.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I only add to the pre-analytical numbers and processes mm-hmm. that it's called provenance. And this is a type of data that they are linked with these pre-analytical processes. Mm-hmm. So the time, what was done, when it was done, by whom, and also on which machine, and so on. So this can be really findable if you need to compare. And also this provenance is done also in hospitals where the samples are taken. Mm-hmm.
In our cases, we plan the collaboration definitely with the University Hospital of Brno, and in future, I hope we will also collaborate with the University Hospital, St. Anne University Hospital. Mm-hmm. Definitely, we have to collaborate with the Department of Surgery, Department of Pathology, Department of Biochemistry. Mm-hmm. It's necessary for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not only the sample that's collected. There must be a huge amount of data about the sample, about the subject that contributes with the sample. So you need some kind of information system that integrates that, and where the data live. Do they live in your information system in the biobank, or does it live in a space between the hospital and biobanking? How is it handled?
So it's quite individual, because this research infrastructure is like, it has 8 members. So each member is quite individual biobank, and mm-hmm. it's joined with some mother institution. So it depends on each biobank. It can be different.
You were speaking about BBMRI infrastructure, or what did you speak about?
Yes, I am now speaking about BBMRI infrastructure, but now I want to say about Masaryk Memorial Cancer Institute that we are a little bit ahead of others, and then we consult them and give them advice, and then we are now in processing of implementation of new hospital system. It has pain, but it should be done. It's necessary, and it will be, hopefully, it will be ideal because we have their parametric data. So also this, your question about them, it will be quite easier to get them of this system, and it will be exported quite easily and more not time consuming, because now we try to find them like manually, but in the future we will export them automatically. You filtered what do you need, and then we can give, or we make some pseudonymization and anonymization of what is needed, and then we can release this data a little bit.
Just to say it plainly, so you have a register where you have a list of samples, and the register.
We have connection with the hospital system, then we can find all.
And the register contains also the clinical data,
yes.
And you fill in the clinical data about the sample from the hospital information system. Yeah, but you have a separate data about the clinical information about the sample in your information system of the biobanking.
We have a lot of modules, yes, and one of the module is biobanking module, one of it's clinical, and but who needs, it can look at all of them and to find what they need, what they search. But it's necessary to mention that you imagine only clinical data, but it's not only about the clinical data. It can be also about the whole slide images. It's like pathological glass, which is diagnostics, diagnosed, and then the researcher can look at it. We can send it electronically, and then he can look at, or he can look at it, and then to say or request the sample if it's the right one or it's not.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect, thank you. So another, let's say, sensitive issue is there's a lot of, let's say, energy invested into collecting the samples, asking the patients to contribute and characterize the patient, etc., etc. So many clinicians believe that the samples are theirs, that this is, they own the samples, so they should control the access to the samples, who will analyze the data, etc., etc. So what is the concept behind the biobanking and BBMRI and ownership of the samples and access to the samples?
So owner is always patient. So that's done. That's true, and you need his informed consent, and the patient can cancel this informed consent in any time. So it's really important information, because if you get the chance to sign some informed consent, that you need to know that you can also cancel it to store the samples in biobank. Everyone can happen. You go to the center of prevention, or if you go with some, I don't know, some problems, it depends. But this informed consent, it's in all samples that you can request. So the biobanks guarantee you that you have covered everything. And if you need some samples in your projects, that also this informed consent is like, it goes behind the biobank, not you. In case that you have own samples, the informed consent, it goes with you. So you need to add to the project to have it safe. So that's also the benefit of biobanks, that this is covered. And I will say that the samples are not provided to everyone. It's provided in research, for research activities, research reasons, and also the academics and commercial subjects can request. But each biobank has some decision board, so covered with a lot of experts, and they decided if you get enough information, if it's reasonable, if you get the ethical approve. So it's not that you ask me, I want some samples, and I will give you. No, it's like it has quite strange procedure, not strange, strict. Sorry.
Strange and strict, yeah, that works.
But it should be definitely followed.
Yeah.
And but if you imagine that you need in your projects, I don't know, thousands of samples, how long you will wait if you get it in some prospective sampling or processing during the hospital processes and surgeries and so on. So that's the reason why the biobanks make it easier, that you can ask for these 1,000 samples and you have really short time to get it if you have also the reasonable.
So you mean that if I want to use samples that Ondra collected, I can do that somehow?
No. Biopharma Hub will decide if you get it.
So, another example, you have samples in BBMRI collected during some kind of procedure, and someone out and samples, and I know that your biobank have them. So I can apply my proposal, project proposal, you will consider that, or your scientific board will consider that, and you can
European network, so you are able to ask for also for international samples, not only Czech.
Yeah. So this is the concept behind the biobanking, behind the infrastructure of BBMRI. So they are publicly available. To use the samples, and the med school biobank will work in the same concept or in the same.
Yes, the biobank in the preclinical center. The service for the researchers at the university, at the preclinical center, for example, for the storages of the nucleic acid, DNA, RNA, cell cultures, organoids, and we will storage the samples from the University Hospital of Brno, and we can provide these samples to other people.
So there will be two regimes of the biobank. One will be the public one, part of the infrastructure, BBMRI infrastructure.
Or the researchers.
etc. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So we have a few questions that are quite specific, so I would go through them and ask you to fight with them. So one goes compliance requirements on data management systems used for biobanking besides the usual ones such as ISO. If so, how much are these buttering and how much useful and helpful they are? So,
it's quite concrete question. There is some accreditation connected with biobanks, specific and storage of biological material. It's ISO 203 and 87.
Correct.
In our case, we doesn't have any experience with such a request about the data management and some special, I don't know, schema of data. So in our case, in our biobank, we collect it also manually, or automatically and then manually. So no, we don't have any experience with such these requirements on data management, but you know, academic research, it will be like the important part of projects and also some statuses of institutions. So yes, it's help. An experience to do it for the industrial partner.
These standards are quite new because not all European countries have approved so this is quite new standards for us.
So
we built new equipment, so we will
have to
try
implement
to
it according to that.
We will try to fulfill this standard.
Okay. So Teresa Souralová wants to.
Okay, thank you for this question. Okay, so I love all of them, but if I should one tumor suppressive, oncogenic is microRNA 21, because it was actually 2006, and I was PhD student at the time, and it was a pretty new area. I measured few of them in a colorectal tissue, colorectal cancer tissue specimens, and correlated with some clinical pathological features. And actually, after 1 week of measurement and 2 days of writing, I submitted the paper somewhere. In my life, and I mentioned it only to show or to demonstrate how actually attractive field it was at the times, and the principal microRNA in that paper was microRNA 20. MicroRNA in colorectal cancer field. Now it has more than 600 citations. Very small, insignificant contribution to the field, but very important in the time perspective. Like it's in. One is a microRNA 215, which is a tumor suppressive microRNA, intestinal one. Also, we did a lot in studies of this microRNA 215 in colorectal cancer, and we actually described oncogenic signaling pathway in colorectal cancer. So we'll link this microRNA to the canonical pathogenic event in colorectal cancer. And this is, again, highly cited, and I consider this to be one of our important contributions in terms of the microRNA.
That's nice.
Yes.
So your favorite microRNA is microRNA 21. Me too, maybe, but your
like,
but
you are a good student.
I was born 21st May, so my my favorite microRNA 21st, but not 3 people, but 5 people, because I was born in May.
Okay.
So,
So we have 2 questions about AI, and one is if it's used in tumor diagnostics, or is it used somehow in the field of precision medicine? So are
about so-called tertiary analysis, which means the interpretation part of the genomic analysis of the bioinformatics. Then all the providers of the major bioinformatic tools, the commercial ones, usually have some with some databases and looking for some patterns. It's nothing special. But I really believe that one day it will be critically important. And maybe currently, if you believe and give confidence into but still, and it makes me feel safe, the human touch is needed at the end, at least at the level of the quality control, but not only the quality control, but also it's still not 100% precise. The way of the multimodal generative AI. Like not only the generative AI itself, but the generative AI combining more inputs, more types of data. Not only the genomic ones, but also the clinical features, also the, methods, and everything together to establish kind of, let's say, patient avatar, and to use it to predict the outcomes, to predict the therapeutic responses, and to plan the, to come with the individualized strategy. The state of the art in the clinical routine, it's not used that much.
Mm-hmm. Any other comments on such?
I have only one. I do not have general overview as professors. That they are focused on this like pre-screening of pathological images, and they are used to only pick up some spots, and it make the pathologies faster, and his expertise can be
of a potential clinical use. We have a personal question for Jiří. Lucie Kubičková wants to ask you, is cancer a consequence of your lifestyle today?
Yes, or
Our So perhaps you are the one who can answer that. The only one.
The cancers have been definitely with us always. people, and breast cancer was described in ancient Egypt. Hippocrates and Galen described also breast cancer in ancient Greeks. In the 18th century, in the nuns and chimney sweepers. So the cancers have been definitely always with us, but it's true that at this and also the definitely worst environment, the incidence of the cancers is definitely higher.
So lifestyle plays a role somehow.
Definitely.
Yeah,
my lifestyle.
Cancer were the 10 most preventable aspects of cancer are listed. I always show it to the students. I'm not following it in my life. Something which, you will definitely die for it, whatever it will be, cancer or some other disease.
Brain or heart, yeah.
Yes. So, and other are. The problem is, in case it won't be recorded. Yes, I cannot say, but. Yeah, there is a lot of like alcohol, yes, and the moving, not moving.
Exercise.
Exercise. Yeah,
or lack of exercise.
Lack of exercise. Yes. Actually. It's the problem is not that. Where I personally see the problem, and we still do not have answer on that, is not that we actually live long enough to contract a cancer. If living till 100, age, 100 years of the age, but that it comes to the younger ages. Mm-hmm. It is, and this is much bigger problem that in the United States, like early onset colorectal cancer, for instance, between huge increase in this specific age group, and these patients have no genetic predispositions, nothing special in their lifestyle when compared to the reference population. So it's very difficult to ages then to see the overall increase in the incidence because we live longer, let's say. Yes.
Yeah,
so.
This is an important point. Just to add my 10% is that there was for a long time there was a that cancer is really not your fault or fault of your psychological issues. Yeah? So I think this is a kind of sensitive area to say this really is. Increase of the incidence of cancer in the younger age, and one part is lifestyle, the other part is environment, I would say, and we have one question related to that, and we have Luděk Blaha here from Resetox who could Biobank material can definitely serve as a material to study the environment's effects, I believe, yeah?
Yes, exactly. In Masaryk University in Faculty of Science, there is one big it is focused on population studies. So they studied studies exposome, which is like collecting of different factors influencing health. Definitely should be listed also the environmental and chemical exposure. So they are focusing on chemical analysis, persistent organic pollutants. So if you need more, it's quite
okay,
intensive
Luděk,
research.
Luděk is sitting in the last row. So the time pressure. Zdeněk Andrysík obviously asked, what is the single greatest challenge for the academic environment in our country to close the gap between our universities and top schools abroad? So could you all comment? There is a huge gap, and top schools abroad are lacking behind us in many aspects, and they...
And the bad ones, yes. There is a, I think maybe perception gap, because...
what does it mean?
It means that, or reputation gap or something like that. It's because they have a long-standing reputation, these top Western universities, built after 50 years of total inhibition and without any ability to collaborate with the Western world and the advanced research. So I think it just needs a time. I don't believe that there are significant obstacles. Eastern European region like Slovakia, Hungary, or Poland, we are actually doing much better, as I believe. We have a great infrastructure. We do not have such a significant brain drain as in the Slovakia or other. To the Western countries, usually are coming back, or most of them are coming back because they can find a good conditions here now for doing their research. We do not have a necessary number, the significant, we need a higher number people to come. Now we have infrastructure, we have the money, we have the conditions, and I think that to reach that point, it just needs some time. It cannot be, you cannot push anybody to go here. And there are projects like that. Just need some time, and but I definitely believe that we are on the right way. I don't think that when considering the let's say the salaries, it's not that bad as it looks like. Actually, we do have the conditions if we would like to. Faculty. So I can provide a very nice salary for the researchers coming from abroad. The returning researchers, but at the, let's say, first faculty of Charles University, they cannot, because it's their regular. To do that. And you can see the differences also here within our university, between various faculties, what is allowed and what is not. I think all the faculties are within the legal frame, actually. They are definitely follow the rule. Some administration of the faculty, just my view is they just don't want to support the scientists. I usually get a feeling that at some, they actually do not like them. So but I don't. Yeah. But so the options are in place. We can do that. We have the projects when we can offer competitive salaries for excellent scientists. The question is whether we would like to use. It's not sufficient. The overall budget for science is low, etc., etc. Yes, that's correct. But we can start at our level by defining the rules, how to support the excellent scientists. And some faculties are on the right way, and
yeah, and this is very positive, I would say. Thank you for that. And this is, I would say, in tune what other people who sit in this chair told me as well, yeah, because I asked the same question as Zdeněk, what's keeping us behind? Was it about people? Is it about infrastructure, money, etc., etc.? And they usually say this is about people, and you say it's about time to make it being seen or perceived, and to build a reputation. It definitely takes time. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your words. Thank you all of you for joining us and participating in this adventure and staying with us during the morning. And I hope that it wasn't that bad for you.
It was fun. Thank you for inviting.
And it's recorded, so thank you for that. Thanks for inviting. You can look at that during the Christmas Eve and enjoy what very wise words you were saying here, and enjoy with your family. Thank you, all of you that you joined us, and hopefully we will meet again on 7th of January with our Dean Martin Repko to speak about research in orthopedics and environment, supporting the research here. So you are welcome to visit us again, and I wish you a nice December, nice Advent, nice holidays, and have a nice time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.